This segment is sponsored by HoBao, OFNA's exclusive supplier of RC products for the RC enthusiast.
Hi, I'm here to show you how to set up your HoBao 2.4 GHz system into the new RTR Hyper 10sc. This will be a current model that will come out with this new existing radio and newer technology for us, and we'll be showing you a how-to on binding and servo trim setup on there. So we'll get started as I have a Hyper 10sc here ready to go, and we're going to set up the binding system and that trim. As you can see, we have a Hyper 10sc already ready to go, ready to run, and in here we have in the receiver box, we get a good angle on this. We're going to show that as we open it up, we have the receiver already in the system. Okay, let's see. The receiver already in the system, and you can see it's very blocked by the tire. And we put a battery in here for ready to go setup. So for us, we're going to get right to this, and we're going to go to the radio itself. And if we look at here on the radio, this is our 2.4 radio, new binding system on there too, 3-channel radio, has dual rate and servo and throttle trimming on there. So we have a lot of things that are good features to the radio that'll be a lot easier for you to set up on it. So we'll get started with the binding system, and we'll show you how to do that. First thing we need to do is pull the receiver out of the receiver box, and in your instruction manual it gives you an indication on what you need to do to pull out and get into the binding wire. Of course, you have 3 channels, a battery wire, and on the first channel it is also your bind wire. And if you look at the receiver box, it also has an arrow to show you where you need to put the bind plug in. And of course, the bind plug is this piece right here, and it's basically a looped wire that is closed circuit, and you're going to take your throttle or your steering servo out. Okay, you're going to pull the first plug port out, and you're going to put the bind wire in. And when you put the bind wire in, it's going to be ready to set up for bind. So the first thing you need to do is turn on your radio system and bind that radio. And when you're looking at this in the instruction manual, it's showing you right here, this small button that I'm pointing at is your bind wire. And in the instruction manual, it tells you to hold on to the button for the bind wire and then turn on your radio. When you turn on your radio, you're going to get a flashing light. That flashing green light is indicating that it wants to bind to a radio system. So you go back to the receiver, and we've already got the bind plug wire in. Now all we need to do is turn on the switch and look at the green light. It's going to flash once and then flash solid once we turn it on. So we're turning on the green. Now you look at the radio. If you're looking at the radio over here, it's no longer flashing. The receiver is no longer flashing. So once you get that indication that everything's bound up with solid green wires, we shut off the car, we shut off the radio, we take the bind wire plug out of port 1, we put your existing servo wire back into the port 1, and we'll tuck this back into the receiver, and we'll just temporarily put this box back in place. Okay, now we go back to turning on the radio again. The radio is indicating that it's on. We turn on the switch. Now the car is already activated. That means the fail-safe is already set up on it. We check for throttle. Okay, there's I think I might have that one in backwards. We'll see. We check for steering, left and right steering, and we'll go back to the box and we'll check here. We're on full brakes right now. Okay, so with that in mind, you know that the receiver system's working. The only thing you need to do now is actually check the trim on the radio itself. So the reason why that this is not working with the throttle back and forth is because the servo's maxed out in a certain position. And this is where you look at the instruction manual and you look at these 2 switches that are right here. You have these switches. One is for steering, one is for throttle. And if you look at them, one says NOR, which is for normal, and REV for reverse. So the top ones are showing normal, the bottom ones are showing reverse. And when you're looking at the throttle right now, you're hitting the throttle, you're not getting any gas whatsoever. But when you